Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Cayman Collective. I'm Cayman Collective. I'm gonna get right into it. So I know a lot of people out there are wondering, should you get into coding? Should you get into coding? Should you learn how to program? Should you learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, C, Python, Angular, all the many frameworks, scripting languages, coding languages, programming languages that are out there? Um, well, I would have to ask you, what is your intention of coming into this industry? That will answer the question. That will answer everything, right? So, if you're interested in learning how to code, learn how to get into this industry for the purpose of making money, for finding, a stable career, um, this ain't for you, buddy. Just straight, I'm gonna shoot from the hip, tell you that. This ain't for you. Don't pursue this career. You will frustrate yourself, waste a lot of time, and it just won't be worth it. For you to be successful in this industry, you have to actually have a love for it. You gotta have a passion, a love for the technology, and you gotta be willing to put in some years to understand fully what's going on here. You gotta be willing to be patient. So you gotta really love this thing, right? If you're thinking you're gonna go from average Joe on the street to, you know, a career in coding within 2 years, and you're gonna just stay in one spot, you're just gonna be the front end web developer, mid level or entry level for 20 years, and the skills that you learned from your first coding boot camp or whatever you decided to get into, you think that's going to carry you on for 20 years? Just get out. Just get out. Just quit. Don't waste your time. If that's the type of person you are, you like to go and you like to get a job, stay there for 20 years, doing the same exact thing over and over and over again. You like stability. You like, comfort and that type of stuff. You will fold and crumble in this industry. It will eat you alive. You will not survive. Okay, I was somebody who went to a Trilogy coding boot camp. I went to Rutgers coding boot camp. It's pretty decent program. But the only people who survived in this coding boot camp were people who either one were passionate about this, or number two, kind of played politics and figured out a way to finish the program without really knowing how to code, which is very possible in coding boot camps. I'll talk about coding boot camps in a different video. But for now, talk about, should you learn how to code? And like I said before, if you're planning on doing this just to get a job, get a nice little comfortable position, kind of sit there for 20 years, slowly move up the ladder with the same exact skills that you have, that you came out of, a school with, you're going to fail. Promise you. There's no if, ands, or buts. Guaranteed, you will fail in this industry. What it takes to succeed in this industry is first and foremost, is a love for it. You gotta love what you're doing in this industry, okay? There's a lot of stress, a lot of headaches, a lot of pain that goes into this industry. And if you are not willing to go through that pain, you're not going to get anything done. See, the money is circumstantial. Obviously, you want to be compensated for the amount of effort that you put in, especially for other people. But as you notice, or as you've probably seen, or you're well aware of, there's a lot of free software projects out there. Okay, very good, very solid, well running free software projects that run a lot better than what a lot of paid things are, right? And the reason for that is because of the love, the passion that these developers have. The best developers in the industry love it, and a lot of them, when they retire, they come back and they volunteer to help because it's a love, it's passion, right? If you're planning on making money in this industry solely, and you don't like software or technology, you will fail. I promise you that. If you are somebody, excuse me, who wants to get into this gimmick, because now it's a gimmick of everybody learning the code, come learn the code, this, and that. It's become a gimmick now, right? Where, you know, a lot of these places, they'll charge 20,000, 30,000 for a year-long program. And they put you through the ringer, man. They don't really express to you that this is something that you really gotta be passionate about, especially a coding boot camp, right? A coding boot camp, they're gonna put you through the ringer. They're gonna just throw you right into the fire, and depending on what instructor you have, they're not really gonna teach you. Okay, and that's another thing you gotta understand in this industry too. You're not gonna really get much help, right? Except for you helping yourself, right? People will point you in the right direction, but they can't learn the material for you. You have to do that yourself. There's a lot of learning that goes on outside of what you do in your class or even at your job. And if you want to stay on top, you got to keep learning the new technologies, man. It's like every single day, it feels like a new technology is coming out. In fact, no, like every single day, a new technology is coming out. It seems like every other day, JavaScript or ECMAScript has a new version. I think now it's on version 7 or version 8. You know, a lot of us are still on version 5. Okay, version 6 still being implemented on a mass scale. Pretty much version 6 is in there clean. 7 is getting worked around. Then you have the Linux operating system, which isn't exactly coding or coding bootcamp, but that gets updated pretty much every month. Technology is moving fast, and it's always moving fast, and it's only moving faster. So you got to keep up with the trends if you want to be successful in this industry, right? And the only way that you can really confidently do that is if you love it. That's the only way, right? You got to love this industry. You got to really want it. You got to want to... The type of people who are the most successful in this industry are those that want to help. Make a technology that's going to help. Make a service that's going to help. If you can think in terms of that, right, then it's easy. It becomes simple. The best way, my recommendation for anybody trying to get in this industry, right, is first figure out what it is that you love about this industry. Figure out what it is that you love about this industry, and then see where you could fit in there, right? So for me personally, right, I'm a web developer. I personally like back end more on like front end, but I'm full stack web developer. I also do you know, a little bit of I guess electronic engineering. I wouldn't exactly consider myself an engineer of electronics. I'm more of a maker. I think that's the more appropriate term, is a maker. So I use electronic components and I make things to solve problems. Right now I'm working on a microgreens watering system, an automated microgreens watering system. You know, but I'm trying to, you know, make an automated garden thing. So that has been driving me to get things done. So for me, right, I want to make an automated garden. I'm like, okay, we need something that gives water to the soil. We need soil moisture sensors. We need to figure out the humidity. Maybe if there's nutrients that need to be put in. I haven't gotten to that part yet. But, you know, different things like that. So I know how to navigate and what to do. So I'm motivated of what to research. So I'm researching other projects that people have done in Python or in JavaScript of doing an automated plant. And then, I reverse engineer things here and there. And I try to plug and play things, right? I play around and I'm constantly looking at this stuff, constantly trying to learn a new thing, a better way of implementing the solution, right? You have a problem and then you come up with a solution for it. Coming up with solutions for problems is one of the easiest ways, or one of the, definitely the easiest way to motivate yourself to get things done in this industry. All right. Make it a hobby first, right? Make it a hobby first. Learn, feel some things out. I'm saying do this before you even spend any money on any schools, anything. Make sure this is what you want to do, right? The last thing you want to do, because there was a lot of people in my coding boot camp, right? So let's just imagine you've convinced yourself, yeah, technology is the future. I really want this job in coding because of the money and this and that. And you just spent $20,000 on, I don't know, like DeVry University or whatever, a 16-week program to learn how to do web development, right? 3 weeks pass by and you're like, oh man, this is hard and I don't like this. This thing sucks. This stuff sucks. There's a lot of kids who I was in class with who I could see they weren't willing to admit it, but their body language told the story. They didn't want to be there. Every single homework, everything was major anxiety, major imposter syndrome, everything. It was like they didn't want to get exposed. And in fact, one of these people actually made it through the entire program because they played the politics right. And I kind of feel bad for them because it's like, you spent all this money and 6 months, 6+ months of constant stress for something you're not even going to use, for something that you're just going to essentially wipe your ass with. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's all these degrees are good for. Toilet paper. You just go wipe your ass with it. Oh, man, I got a PhD in computer science from MIT. Just wipe your ass with it. You might as well. Because you don't need that shit. You don't need that. I'm going to tell you something else. Right? A lot of this industry is who you know. A little bit more than what you know. But you do need to know what you're doing here. But it's not like anything different, It's who you know and a little bit of what you know. Because honestly, who you know could teach you what you need to know, right? If you know the right people, they'll be willing to train you. That's why it's important for people to be passionate about what they want to do in this industry. Because then you'll be motivated to go out to events, to all these different things. You got to do those things. You got to go out there and get in forums, meet people, meet and greets, happy hours, XYZ. All these different things. You got to be on it, right? And if you're not passionate about this, you're not going to do any of this stuff. So, I mean, once again, I don't know what it is. I think it's this whole craze that's going around. You have all these startups, or these coding boot camps going on, and they've kind of seen the necessity for it because a lot of these tech schools, like all colleges, outdated information, no updates to anything, just a racket for money. I'm somebody who's constantly been a firm believer after I went through my first year of college and dropped out, that college is a racket. And it is. It is. Unless you really are going to go learn to be like a computer science data specialist type of person, or you just really want to get a PhD or a master's or whatever in computer science, do it, I guess. But there's no reason to do that in this day and age. It's about what you know, not the piece of paper that you hold. It's about what you know and who you know, not that piece of paper. As many people who I know who have been on YouTube everywhere, they'll tell you like that degree is like a paperweight. My boot camp certificate from Rutgers University, right? Might as well just be toilet paper. Might as well. Might as well. Right? Because that piece of paper is not going to get me a job. You know what has gotten me jobs? Who I know. In my work. That is what is important, right? Another thing that's important in this industry is being self-sufficient, right? I know a lot of people, they want to go the career route. That's cool. That's not for everybody, especially not in this tech industry and in the gig economy, right? So you want to get your name out there. You want people to know who you are. Because when you get to that position, you're not sending resumes anymore. You're not asking people for jobs. People are seeking you out for jobs. People are like, hey, I heard you did this and that. Hey, I heard you could do this and that. Hey, I saw you on that. Hey, I saw your name on this. Hey, so-and-so recommended me because I needed that and I saw what you did for them. It happens, right? But for you to get to that point, you gotta be passionate about this. I can't stress that enough. If you are not passionate about this technology stuff, if you are not trying to solve solutions in real time, I would suggest, right? I honestly recommend any and everybody looking at code and understanding what it is, at the very least HTML, because it'll change the way that you think, right? It'll change the way that you think. It'll make you think, a few steps ahead, right? It'll almost force you to think in that type of way. And if you want to do this casually and in a hobby way, I recommend anybody do that. Seriously. Now, I don't recommend everybody try to do this as a career. I don't. Because I know how human nature is, right? And it's not a slight to anybody that's in a coding boot camp or in anything like that, right? Just the facts of the matter is, like in every boot camp, like in every school, like in every job, like in every single situation, not all y'all gonna make it. Especially in this. Not all y'all gonna make it, right? I know a lot of y'all probably are in a coding boot camp right now or some type of class or whatever. There's probably some of y'all listening to this video right now that are enrolled in the class in a coding boot camp or whatever. You ain't gonna make it, bro. I'm just being honest. Some of y'all ain't gonna make it. Not every soldier is coming home after the war. I mean, in my coding boot camp, half the class damn near dropped out. Every soldier's not making it home from the war. It's just not the way it happens. You get casualties in war. And, this, in a way, is like a war, but it's a war with yourself. So, if you're out there and you're like, oh man, I want to learn how to code, do it. Do it. Just go learn. I think everybody should learn. If you're like, I want to learn code to have a career in this industry, what's your motivation? If your motivation is to get paid, don't do it. Stop. Go do something else. Go join a union. Go open up your own business. Go invest in some cryptocurrency or some stocks. Don't do this. You're just gonna end up frustrating yourself, stressing yourself out for no reason. There will be no reward out of this. Because this isn't something that you can have as. You have to go all in if you're gonna be a developer or you're gonna be in this industry. You have to go all in. There is no half-assing. You half-ass this, you've wasted your time completely. Especially if a career is the goal. Trust me, I spent enough time half-assing this. I know what I'm talking about here, okay? You have to go all in. That is the only way that you can successfully navigate through the coding boot camps, the jobs, the internships. There's a lot of stress, right? And you gotta love this thing, man. It's just because for me, right? Why put yourself through all this if you don't like it? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And this just, I don't know. Just doesn't seem practical. But anyway, that's my long video, long rant about should you learn how to code or seek a career in coding. And like I said, if money and comfort and that type of stuff is your aim, this is not the industry for you, especially if you want consistency and comfort. This is not for you. Okay, I know you see there's a lot of buzzwords. Learn how to code, and I'm sure you've watched movies of hackers doing this and that, and you think in your mind, oh yeah, I'd like to know how to build a website and this, and that. Sure, I'd like to be able to do a 360 in between the legs dunk on a 14-foot hoop. Okay, that would be nice of me to do, right? You know how passionate I'm about doing that? Not at all. But hey, wouldn't that be cool if I could do that, right? That'd be an incredible feat, right? This is no different than that, right? This is no different than you being like, hey man, I wish I could jump out a window and fly. How passionate are you about that, right? That would just be something nice to do. But do you wake up every morning being like, oh man, I wish I could jump out my window and fly? Do you look at birds every day and say, man, I need to, that's me, I'm a bird, right? Do you have that level of passion? Of course not, unless you're crazy. Of course not, right? But that level of passion needs to be present, or something like that needs to be present for you to be successful in this industry, right? There's nobody that is kind of just like, yeah, it'd be nice to, learn how to code, and I'm gonna casually put time in it. I'm gonna put 20 minutes here and there every day, and then in 2 years I'm gonna be this developer or whatever. It's not happening, man. That's not enough time. That's not enough concentration. Like, you gotta really go all in with this, man. So if you're not ready to do that, don't consider a career. Seriously, don't. Don't waste your time. I'm trying to warn y'all, and for y'all to save your money and to not waste your time. I'm not trying to discourage anybody that's passionate about this, because I'm not talking about you. But if you're just casually strolling in and be like, oh, coding bootcamp, no. Save your money. Don't do it. Don't do it, right? Now, if you do want to casually learn how to code, I would suggest going to Unlock Code Academy. I'm a little biased because I am a TA over there. But, the first part of it is free, right? And then you pay a monthly dues, I believe. I think it's like $50 for the month. But that opens you up to a community, to a bunch of extra resources. It opens you up to people in the industry, working, currently making apps, and in the industry. And it's also a nice little community to be a part of. I love the Unlock Tribe. I really do. It's great stuff. It's really been a wonderful experience for me, helping people out, as well as in certain ways the students helping me as well. I learn from the students, and they learn from me. It's a lovely experience, very lovely experience. But I would suggest you take that type of route before you even consider a coding bootcamp or anything like that, man, because you're gonna pay tens of thousands of dollars, whereas with the Unlock Academy, you're not even paying $1,000, not even close. You're paying about, I don't know, maybe $600 for the year. $600 for the year, right? And that's if I'm even thinking about the prices right. I don't even know. You gotta check out Antoine Digital. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to it's kind of like the big bro. It's one of my mentors. You know what I'm saying? Also, yeah, let me also mention that too. Get you some good mentors. That's very key. All right. So I'm gonna cut this video. It went too long. So, right. This is Cayman Collective, part of the Cayman Collective, and yeah. Oh yeah, big shout out to the LDBC Lions Den boxing community. I'm out of here.